What's up, everybody? Well, today is the first day of work. It is about 4:30, about 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, we had our coffee. Got on all this safety gear and warm weather gear. It'll be interesting. Kind of excited about it, nervous about it at the same time. I like my 80s hairband. Hey, stop the sweat. It works. Used to do it a lot years ago. Of course, I don't think I have to worry about sweating today. Comes Brenda. She took Sophie out for a walk. There's Sophie girl. Say hey to everybody, Sophie. She'll get to be without us for a while. Hopefully she don't terrorize the motorhome while we're working. She's usually pretty good. There's Brenda coming in. Is it cold out there? Not cold?
No. I'm not even sure I need this flannel.
Really?
Yeah. But if the wind gets up, you never know, and it's supposed to rain.
You never know. Take a look around our motorhome, guys.
It's a clobbered up mess.
It's a clobbered up mess. And the flies are so bad here. I actually had to put a fly strip up. Scared to spray a lot of fly spray in here because of the dog. But yes, it is a mess. But we're ready for the long haul, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Go outside and get that beet and show them what a beet looks like.
That's a big old beet.
Yeah. That's right outside the door. We picked a beet up off the side of the road yesterday. I wanted to show you guys the beet anyway. This is actually what they make sugar out of, so. There is the beet. Later I'm going to clean that thing up and I'm going to cut it open and then we're going to see what it tastes like. You'd think it would be sweet, but I bet it's not.
It's got a dirt smell to it.
Yeah, it fell off the truck going to the piler yesterday. You can set it back outside till we get home. But maybe this afternoon I'll clean that thing up, cut it up, and we'll see what it tastes like. I was told that they wasn't too sweet, so. But anyway, our first day of work. We got up a little extra early this morning just to make sure, because we don't get to leave the job, we need to make sure we taking everything with us, lunch bags and all that crap. Any last words for our first day?
No.
No.
Wish us luck.
Wish us luck. Keep us warm.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll check you later. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Stupid Wandering Aces.
Where did you get that?
I don't know. We are here in North Dakota, and yesterday was our first full day of work at the Great Sugar Beet Harvest. Our first experience, first impressions. The work is not hard. It's very easy. We should probably do the pros and the cons. The pro is the work's, what we're doing is very easy. It's not hard. Another pro is it pays very well. Another pro. It pays very well. Cons. Biggest con is you're on your feet for 12 hours. Well, it's not the biggest con. It is a con. The biggest con is going to be, which we have not faced just yet, is the drop in temperature and the wind. So if you're working out in 35, 40 degrees and the wind's blowing 20 mile an hour, which is very easily here. As a matter of fact, they're calling 25 to 30 mile an hour one day.
I think that's Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday. Today we're shooting this is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And we start full blast Wednesday, but we have to work tomorrow. But the campaign doesn't start until October 1st. That is the first official day of the campaign. What was your impression like? What was your pros and cons? So I think the pros are pretty much the same as mine.
Yeah.
It pays good. Work's not that hard.
No, it's not. And I actually did a boo-boo. I had one of the truck drivers pull forward when he wasn't supposed to.
Poor old guy still had beats on the truck. Brendan's saying, come on, come on, come on.
But you couldn't see them. A conveyor belt took them off. Where the other ones, they raised up and dumped.
Let's see where my finger is.
So.
Can't follow my finger. Let's see. There's Sophie girl right there.
There her is.
She's just sitting on the bed.
Sophie baby girl.
Sorry to interrupt you. Other than your boo-boo, what's one of the name some things you liked and disliked about the job?
What I liked.
Other than destroying the guy's load of beets.
He got half of them off the truck, y'all. And then the other half was still on there. But he had a conveyor belt instead of a dump that pulls up. It just runs off the back of the truck. Well, I've been calling it pretty good because when it stops, you just watch it for a little while and then you'd say, well, come on. But it didn't work like that.
There's basically two types of trucks. You have the dump trucks, and then you have some of the farm trucks where it's just a regular truck, but in the middle of the truck is a conveyor belt, which conveyors the product off the end. The truck that she's talking about had the one with the conveyor belt on the inside, which discharges the product off the back of the belt. Any other time she would have saw the dump truck dumping the beets, coming down, and then pulling forward. That's what she was typically used to seeing, but she got one truck that was with this conveyor belt system, and he'd been sitting there a while. So Brenda says, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And the guy's still dumping his beets. But she got in trouble for that.
Yep.
They have
funny.
They have a light box there that the driver is supposed to watch. See, when the driver pulls through the dump, gets ready to dump on the conveyor belt, there's some lights that he looks at that tells him whether to pull forward, back up, dump, or let down. And that's what he is supposed to follow. The truck drivers are not supposed to pull forward until the piler operator tells him to pull forward. There's a light that'll come on, tell him to pull forward. So that's where she messed up. So what's the pros and the cons and all that good stuff? You haven't told them that yet. Sophie's raising Cain.
The pros was, it was a good day. It really was a good day. And we had a girl named Amy that was kind of training us, and she preferred to be called Fred. And she was very informative. She helped out a lot. And does she have she has a YouTube channel, don't she?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Pros or cons, babe? What's the pros? What's the cons?
I just said.
What?
You wasn't listening.
I was getting Sophie. I don't listen anyway.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead, what you got to say?
No, I was waiting on you.
No, you wasn't.
I thought you was going to tell them some pros and some cons.
I was trying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead then.
You interrupted.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the cons was the wind. The wind is very, very strong. And it will blow that dust up in your face.
They put something down to help dry the dirt around the piler. I've heard it called cold ash, which is very possible. But anyway, it's black. it's black. And when the wind blows across there, man,
You have safety glasses
bad.
on, but it still gets in your eyes.
you know, the biggest con, you're on your feet 12 hours, and the wind and the temperature, of course. If it's 35 degrees and wind's blowing, it's cold. It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to endure that. So, we dress in layers.
But we knew that when we went into the
Oh,
job.
yeah. We kind of researched it a good little bit. It's going to be really hard on us when the campaign starts, because it is 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they look to run 2 weeks, about 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
They have finished in 9 days. If you think about all the thousands and thousands of acres of sugar beets, the campaign can, we get them out of ground and we pile them up at the factory. That's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a neat operation.
Another pro is they were really good to us.
Very nice.
When we came out, they hired us. They gave us the camp. They gave us a campground. We don't have to pay for water or anything. So that was, that's really
That's part of the
lot.
benefit,
Yeah.
If you're a work camper,
it's only like 5 minutes down the road to the job.
Oh yeah, you can see the factory from here. It's that's one of the benefits. Some work camping jobs you have to pay for your campsite, so you got kind of outweigh it. So
You get electric.
we have full hookups, and we'll figure an average of $40 a night for a campground. We don't have to pay that, so that's just pretty nice. And like I say, the hourly pay is good, and the way they work it, anything over 8 hours is time and a half, and on Sundays is double time.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it's double time on Sundays. So we're looking to get 2 Sundays out of this.
And if you make it to the end of the job, they do give you a bonus.
They give you a bonus. Yes.
And some of them worked really hard last year, and they got their bonus at the end of the year, but they came back this year, and because they came back this year,
the farmers did this.
The farmers gave them an extra bonus
Yes.
when they came back this year.
All the rehires that came back, the farmers themselves put a bunch of cash. That's cash money. They put a bunch of cash in the pot, and they give it to each person that came back. I don't know the amount of that, but I would say it was probably a pretty generous amount. They don't have to do that. They do not have to do that. It might be $100, $50 to $100. It's still, that's pretty generous of the guys to just give you $50, $100, which I have no idea what I'm talking about. It could be more, it could be less.
They didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to do that. And I think at the end, the farmers get together and buy everybody a meal. We don't know that yet, so I'm not going to speak out of turn. Different places do different things. But they're really nice people that we work for. They have treated us really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the hard part of the whole entire job is being outside in the elements.
Mm-hmm.
If it rains, they give you a rain suit.
But still got to work.
The only
Unless
reason
it gets raining too hard, then they'll shut it off.
The only reason they'll stop if it rains is the farmers can't get out of the field, in or out of the field. That's when it stops.
Yeah.
The temperature has to be within a window, I think, of like 30 degrees, 35 degrees to like 65. Anything over 65, anything under 35, they shut it down.
I thought it was 30.
It could be 30.
It's freezing.
What they do is they take the temperature of the beet. It has to be within a range. They will not pile it if it's froze. So if the beet is froze, they won't pile it. They'll stop it and wait on better
Because they'll rot.
Better weather. Yes, some reason they'll rot faster. It's a pretty neat and elaborate setup that they have to store these beets all winter, and to make sugar year round. Like I say in the other videos, I thought sugar came from sugar cane, and that was it. I was wrong. It comes from a beet. It's pretty cool. The setup's really, really good. But the job they hired us for is to when the trucks come in and they dump the beets, we return the dirt back to them, because they only get paid for the beet. They get paid on the weight and the sugar content of the beet. So they return that dirt back to them. That's what the piler does. It separates the dirt from the beet. So we put the dirt back into the truck and we take samples. Not on every load.
Most loads.
On most loads. Every other load, maybe every 3 loads, they'll have a sample card, and we'll put it in a bag in a window, a little window, and we get a sample of their beets as it comes through the piler. And that's basically it, and keeping the area clean. And maybe once during the shift we'll shut down and clean the machine. The dirt that's here is different than any dirt that I've ever seen in my life. This stuff is bad.
It sticks.
You know, we got red clay at home. I thought red clay was pretty bad, but this dirt here, I mean, it's black. It is just black. And you put it, we have to wear a safety vest, and I got black. I had mud all over my safety vest, and I washed it, and all of it wouldn't come out. They tell me that after the campaign, most of the people throw their clothes away. They wear old clothes. They wear them through this whole campaign of harvesting the beets, and then they chunk them.
Yep.
They don't even try to wash them, and I can see why.
Because they won't come clean.
No, I don't think you can get them clean. I soaked those our safety vest in Dawn dishwashing soap for a long time, and hand scrubbed them and everything else, and they still look pretty bad. But you know, it's something different. You know, it's
an experience.
Whenever Brenda and I started on this journey of me selling the business and us traveling and seeing the country and doing some odd jobs here and there, that was all part of the plan. There are work camping jobs out there. This just happens to be one of them. They actually cater to people in a camper. Retired people do this. Young people do this. There's a ton of young people here. There's a lot of old people here. You know, that's what they do. They do this as extra money for them to get by. You know, you got to calculate what extra money. Everything that Brenda and I make is our spending money. That's just things we, you know, if we want to go on a trip here or there, that's what the money we have is for. So the more work camping jobs we do, you know, if you're going to spend a whole month in an area, or maybe 3 months or 4 months, why not try to find a little part-time job? And it is amazing of the work camping jobs that's out there. There's tons of them in all aspects. It's pretty amazing of the jobs that are out there. Campground host, working at a state park. They may not be glamorous jobs, but it's a job. You know, this is by no means a glamorous job. I have done a lot harder work in my life. This is very, very easy work. There's really nothing to it. It's just fighting the elements. And I've worked outside a good part of my life, even in the cold, even in the heat. This is different because, I don't know, whenever I was welding and building gates and putting up fence and things like that on the cold days, I got cold, I'd go sit in the truck for 10 or 15 minutes and I'd go back to work. We have nowhere to run. We have nowhere to hide.
Nope.
You get 2 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute break in a 12-hour shift. However, if you're working with a good group of people,
You don't supposed to say that.
yeah, you can. Yeah, it's all about the group that you're with. If you're with a whole bunch of people and you get together and say, hey, you want to take an hour for lunch? You got to be willing to relieve me for an hour. So if everybody is in agreement, and if they're not in an agreement, no, you can't do it. If somebody says, no, I want a strict 30-minute break or a strict 15-minute break, then you don't have a choice but to do it that way. But you know, if everybody is in an agreement to take an hour for lunch, take an hour for lunch. But you got to be willing to bust your butt for an hour, which you're not going to do by yourself. It's not a hard job. One person can actually do it all day long, if you ask me. I don't see, on the ground crew, you have two different sides of this piler. They have like 2 people on each side and a floater and a boom operator. One person can actually run one side by themselves easily. So, you know, I don't mind running it for a whole hour. You willing to give me an hour break or a 30-minute short break? If everybody's in an agreement, it works great. But the biggest con that I see is you're looking at a 15 day run with no days off, unless weather comes in and interferes, 12 hours a day. That's it.
That can be pretty tiring.
And you're out. We're going to be wore out. It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Just being on your feet constantly 12 hours is bad enough in itself. You're going to come home and you just clock out. You're done, you know. Grab something to eat, squeeze a shower in, go to bed. Get back up 12 hours later and hit it again. But I guess those...
You may not hear much from us in the next 14 days.
No, you're not going to hear from us for a while.
Nope.
Going
to be too busy.
We're going to be busy. We're looking forward to it. We're excited, you know. It's going to take a lot out of us. I know that. I mean, I'm 56 years old. I've never, ever had a job where I had to stand on my feet for 12 hours. Never had one. I've had to do manual labor a lot of my life. But most of my life I was sitting at a desk pushing a pencil, working everybody else. Unloading or loading a transfer truck.
Now.
That's, I've had good jobs. That's the reason I chose those careers, so I wouldn't have to kill myself every day. Some people have to work hard every day. So this is going to be the challenge. She's had it made, and you guys know it.
I have to work hard.
Yeah, this time you do. We both do. It's not that we have to work hard. It's just being out in the weather 12 hours a day. That's going to take anybody
12
out.
hours is a long time for somebody to stand on their feet.
Yes,
But
that's rough on anybody. I don't care who you are.
We can do it.
It's
We
rough
got
on the
this.
young ones as well as the old people. I hear the young ones complaining too. So, you know, it is what it is. But the biggest downfall of the job is 12 hours and being out in the elements, regardless of what the temperature is. If it's 30 degrees and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour and the beach ain't froze, you keep getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to dress up, and I got electric socks and electric gloves. Brenda does too. We'll see how they work. Usually if my feet stays good, I'm pretty good. And my hands. But we'll see. Anything else you want to add?
No, just
We'll
let
see.
you know how it goes.
We'll see. It's pretty exciting though.
Yeah,
We've never
it is.
done anything like this, and you know, these are some of the jobs that we want to do. One thing about this, regardless of how bad it is, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not like you're stuck here for the rest of your life. It's only 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. Maybe the hardest 2 weeks you ever pulled in your life, but it's only 2 weeks. You know, I always told everybody, you know, that I could do just about anything for 2 weeks. We fixing to find out if that's true or not. I'll let you know if I check out. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I consider myself a very hard worker. Brenda's a very hard worker. And we're dedicated whenever we try to do something. But you know that if the weather's so bad and you're out there and it's cold and you just can't, you know, it is what it is. Some people can't do it. I used to be able to do it. I used to be able to get out there in the cold, get out there in the heat, and just chug right along. But I do know the older you get, the worse that it is. Well, telephone's ringing. We got to go. Hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you got some good information out of it. You guys have a great day, and we'll check you later.